Hey everybody, happy Friday! Friday! The weekend is upon us, and we're out here at the base of Vail Village, hanging out under some cloudy skies with a little bit of light snow falling. We've got a lot to tell you about for this weekend, the first full weekend of March. So let's get this party started. Vail Valley Live starts right now. Good morning, everyone. I'm Trisha Swenson with Vail Valley Live, coming to you from just outside the Welcome Center in Vail Village, the parking structure at the base of Bridge Street. You can see the cover bridge behind me, the clock tower off in the distance, and it is lightly snowing this morning. A little chilly. We're in the teens right now. We'll get into the 30s later on today, but really no wind, just kind of a quiet little Friday morning. We're going to watch things wake up and probably see the crowds heading up to Gondola 1. We'll take you up there. We'll bring the camera up there. Check out the line. Fridays can get kind of busy. Last year, Friday was like the new Saturday. So we'll see what we see coming in to town. A lot of people are going back home after a long President's Day weekend break all week long. And then all the Eagle County schools, they're off this week. So, and then we start to see all the different spring break families coming in from all over, whether it's Texas, New York, Chicago, California. They'll be sprinkled out throughout the month of March. So lots going on and lots to tell you about. So let's get right to it. We're going to let you know how to watch our show. You can always watch us on YouTube or Facebook any time of the day on demand. And you can like us on Facebook. You can make sure you click the like button, set the alert so you know when we're live. And then YouTube is another way that you can watch us as well. And then locally on Comcast Xfinity Channel 17, we are live there 7:30 to 8:30 daily. And they also have some cool programming going on with all sorts of outdoor adventures for you if you need to get the stoke going throughout your day. But weather-wise, like I mentioned, it's a little chilly this morning. I had my gloves off for a couple minutes and I'm like, oh, I need to get those back on. This weather and mountain report brought to you by the outlets at Silverthorne. If you're taking a break from skiing and riding, want to do some shopping, this is just a half hour over Vail Pass from Vail, about 30 minutes away, exit 205. We're seeing 8 degrees up on Brook Creek Mountain, 7 up on Vail. And like I said, where I'm standing, I'm just in kind of the low to teens right now. We should see highs reaching into the 30s later on. So by about 10 o'clock, almost noon, we'll be kind of in the upper teens and 20s for you, and then top out later on this afternoon. Maybe 1 to 2 inches out of this storm. We're not going to see any big half-foot dumps or anything. We did not get any new snow in the last 24 hours, but we enjoyed that sunshine yesterday. What a beautiful day. And even though the temperature was only predicted to be in the mid 30s, boy, it felt so nice and warm out there. A nice little touch of sunshine since we've had some cloudy weather in the last couple of days. Here's what we can expect for the next couple of days as we go into the weekend. We'll see our highs into the upper 30s with a little bit of sunshine for your Saturday and Sunday and even Monday, and temperatures even into the upper 30s, low 40s as we kind of go throughout the week, and then more sunshine into next week. And then as far as any kind of snow totals are concerned, we'll see just kind of that sprinkling of 1 to 2 inches here and there, but it all adds up. And wow, we've had an amazing season so far. In fact, we've surpassed last year's entire season's total, and it's only the beginning of March. And March can typically be one of the snowiest months in Colorado. It usually goes March, February, and then April. So we'll see. We'll see what March has to bring. But get out there and enjoy it. The lifts will be opening up at 8:30 to 3:30 for Vail Mountain, and then 8:30 to 4 over at Beaver Creek. But do keep in mind that Batcher Gulch, Arrowhead, those close at 3:30. So you'll want to make sure if you need to get back to Main Mountain, pick up the kids from ski school, or you want to do the cookie time. Cookie time's at 3, so make sure you're back at the base earlier so you can get one of those free hot chocolate chip cookies over at the Beeve. And it's a very special weekend for the Beeve because they are celebrating the Villar Performing Arts Center's 25th anniversary. So they're going to have a special show with Nora Jones tonight. That was sold out. It's been sold out for quite a long time. I did see a little posting on their social media that someone was selling their tickets because they can't go. So who knows? You might be able to get some tickets from someone that cannot go for some reason. But that'll be tonight. They've got a reception beforehand at the May Gallery. And 25 years ago, when they thought about doing this, that was something brand new, and especially how it was unconventionally located. It's underneath the ice rink. I mean, people thought that George Beers was kind of crazy when he said, well, why don't we put it underneath the ice rink? They're like, what? How are we going to do that? But pretty remarkable. And Beaver Creek was the first ski resort in the world to actually have a world-class performing arts theater within its boundaries. So, some other ski areas may have had one in their town, but this was a brand, basically a pretty new resort to have done this. Beaver Creek's only been around since 1980, and for them to have the foresight to put in the Vail Performing Arts Center, pretty amazing. So, bravo to all those people that said, we got to have this in our community to complete really the whole Beaver Creek experience, the Vail Valley experience. So if you have a chance to see a show there, you should definitely do so. There's plenty more shows. March is a very busy month for them. Anything from the Yumata Drummers to some family programming and comedy, they're going to have it for you. So once again, Nora Jones is tonight. It's going to be such a wonderful venue to hear her sing and play the piano and everything. It's just going to be a great show. So if you can get tickets for that, that's going to be a hot ticket tonight for sure. But other things going on, we've got a lot of things happening. We're going to talk a little bit about Leadville ski joring. That's going on down in Leadville. We've got the ice rink over at Nottingham Lake still available for you. So the hours are 3 to 8 or 5 to 8 on the weekends, or not on the week, and then 3 to 8 during the weekends. And it's only going to be open till March 12th. So that's kind of a cool venue to go to. And then all the live music that's going to be going on, we got a lot of that happening for you. So we'll get to all that in the next hour. So sit back, pour another cup of coffee, and enjoy the show. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Peggy Ziegler, fashion guru and stylist for the Outlets at Silverthorne. I'm here to share with you an amazing place called the Colorado Welcome Center. We've got fabulous brochures on all the nearby places and towns and things to do right here while you're in Summit County and visiting the Outlets at Silverthorne. And of course, pick up your Elite Savings Card booklet, offering you fabulous discounts and a rewards program too. See you soon.
Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery is kind of a one-stop shop. We have everything in-house.
We have cast techs, MRI machines, x-ray of course right at the clinic, physical therapy right at our clinic.
I'm going to get to the bottom of what your diagnosis is with all the resources we have, and that's what we do.
Join us every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and watch Vail Valley Latino. Our goal is to elevate the voices of the Latino community in the Eagle River Valley and provide a platform to speak with local businesses, organizations, entrepreneurs, creatives, and much more. Find the show on Facebook, YouTube, and Outside Television Channel 17. We are Vail Valley Latino.
Welcome to Vail Valley Live. Time now to take a look at what made headlines in today's Vail Day for your Friday, March 3rd. And really cool. They've got this great wrap commemorating the Valar Performing Arts Center's 20th. And I mentioned earlier a big schedule for March, so that's all listed right here. So look at that in today's Vail Daily when you grab it from your newspaper dispenser today. But for your headlines, wow, look at this beautiful cover shot. So this is actually out of bounds. It's up near Vail Pass on Uneva Peak. So Vail Pass, that's a pretty popular hotspot for all types of backcountry activities, snowmobiling, telemark skiing, AT skiing. And this is Rachel Acker of Eagle. She skis down a popular zone nearby Uneva Peak above Vail Pass. And of course, if you ever are going into the backcountry, make sure you know before you go. You have the equipment, knowledge, and a buddy who's got the same, because avalanche danger can be pretty dangerous back there right now. But headlines for today: walking back the pedestrian plan. Vail will explore a smaller pilot program for pedestrian safety in its resort villages rather than roll out the whole enchilada. So they're kind of rethinking the pricing of that and what they really need to kind of keep the pedestrian zones safer. More on that on page A3. And it's the last march with the Saints. Longtime Vail Christian basketball coach Sheldon Coons, he leads his talented squad into the regional tournament in his final season. He's going to be hanging up the hoops. Learning more about that on page A2. And then also in today's news, Vail Resorts just announced that they're going to be launching a hands-free mobile pass program. So what this means is they'll have a new app to make your phone your ticket to the slope starting the next season. So everything will be on your phone. You won't have the plastic RFID card or anything. You could still get one. If you'd rather have that be your pass, you could still do it, but you can get all the details on page A4 of the Vail Daily. And then in sports and outdoors, Schifrin is ready for the Olympiabakken. Okay, it's the first time women will compete in a regular World Cup event on the Kitfield slope. Normally this is reserved for the men. So read more about this. Could she surpass Ingemar Stenmark's world record of 86 wins this weekend? Well, maybe. Find out more. That's on page A16. And then also in today's paper, over in Aspen, the men are actually going to be racing. So Travis Ganong, he's going to be at the World Cup at Aspen, and then the 34-year-old will retire after the World Cup finals in Andorra. So we have him retiring. We also have Steven Niven retiring. It's kind of the end of an era. And then in our entertainment news, we're going to look at what's going on this weekend. So my weekend picks, everything from a scavenger hunt to the on-mountain tours that go on. So we've got that happening. And then I mentioned the ice rink is going to be open at Nottingham Lake for a little bit longer, just till next Sunday, March 12th. So all that information can be found for you in the weekend picks on page B1. And then we've got our Art Weekly, which is a great thing that you can find in the paper. Kind of gives you some information about the artists that are at our local art galleries, and some of the upcoming shows that are going on. Dan Talene at Carrots, great story about him. His jewelry spans time and place. So if you want to know more about that, you definitely can in today's paper. So grab that. A lot of information in today's paper. So pick up your copy. It's free in newspaper dispensers from Eastville all the way down to Gypsum. Vail Daily, bringing communities together. Now, as far as the roads are concerned, things are looking pretty good. Yesterday with all that sunshine and no new snow to report, we did have quite a nice drive coming in. There is snow lightly falling right now, and we could see some havoc going up on Vail Pass and the Eisenhower Tunnel areas. The biggest thing that's probably going to be newsworthy today is going to be the amount of traffic that'll be coming from east to westbound over I-70. Throughout that I-70 corridor, a lot of people trying to get here for the weekend, coming in from Denver International Airport. So if you have friends or family that are coming up, or just warn them about the traffic. It can get pretty busy and a little slow moving. especially if you wait all the way until Friday afternoon. And then tomorrow morning, same kind of thing. We'll see a lot of people coming up early in the morning. You need to wake up early. Early bird gets the worm, and we'll get a smoother ride. So that 5:30 a.m. alarm, 5 a.m. alarm, that might be what you're looking at to get up and get out of that traffic before it gets to be too much. So, I talked a little bit about ski joring earlier on, and we got some video to let you know about this. So, ski joring actually means ski driving in Norwegian, and what it means is either a horse or a dog or a snowmobile is pulling a skier. And what they do in Leadville is they take Harrison Avenue and they put all the snow in there, and then they build all these jumps. And a skier is teamed up with a horse and rider. And this is going to be random. It'll be randomly selected that morning on Saturday and Sunday. And then they have to spear these rings, those little orange rings. So they go over the jumps, they spear the rings, and it's pretty amazing that they're able to do this. Quite athletic. I mean, you've got to be a good skier, but you have to not be fearful either, because you're going to be pulled by these horses and going through the obstacle course. You can see the crowd gathering. So this is part of Leadville's Crystal Carnival, and in addition to what they have going on the Main Street on the Harrison Avenue, they're going to have live music and different things going on. And what they're going to do at the end of each day. So this will start at high noon with the first horse, rider, and skier. And after they're done, and they've got an open class, which is highly competitive, and then their sport class, and then they're also going to let the kids get into the action. They're going to pull them behind a snowmobile. I don't know if they'll have them do the jumps or anything. Maybe they'll just get them on the track so they can kind of see what it feels like. See if they'd ever want to do this once they grow up. But lots of fun, lots of action. So this will be held, once again, 12 noon till about 3, depending on how many competitors there are on both days. So if you're looking for something completely different to do, maybe take it down to Leadville. It should be a lot of fun. So it's just something that something different and a tradition. It's been going on for 75 years. This is the 75th anniversary. So it's quite a tradition there in Leadville. But a few more things we want to do is, hey, if you do get hurt out there on the mountain, especially if you get in an accident, make sure you exchange your information with the other skier or rider that was involved, and also share that information with a Vail Resorts employee, whether it's one of the Yellow Jackets, a guest service member, lift operator, ski patrol, that kind of thing. If you do need ski patrol, make sure that you can give them a call. If you have your Epic Mix app, that can give you details on how to get a hold of them as well. And cross your skis above the injured person so people that are coming down know to avoid the area. And just a couple of the different rules that maybe you didn't know about. They used to have them on the maps, but they're not really handing out maps anymore. So we try to give you reminders of ski safety, and the rider ahead of you has the right of way. Make sure you know how to use the lifts, all that kind of stuff. But if you do get hurt while you're here, hey, we've got some great care. We have some wonderful docs over at the Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery that'll put you back together again. And we've got a segment called Ask the Doctor. So let's learn more from Dr. Sider.
Dr. Max Sider here with Vail Valley Live for the Ask a Doc segment. I'm an orthopedic surgeon with Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery. I'm fellowship trained in sports medicine, and I specialize in comprehensive treatment of the hip, knee, and shoulder. Are there different types of injuries for skiers and snowboarders? Yes, obviously both can have the same types of injuries. Skiing is going to be a more predominantly lower extremity injury prone sport, while as snowboarding is more frequently going to involve the upper extremities when patients are bracing themselves, or not yet patients, but skiers or snowboarders are bracing themselves for a fall. Wrist fractures are very common with snowboarding. Shoulder injuries very common with snowboarding, including AC separation, shoulder dislocations. We see a lot more ligamentous injuries about the knee with skiing. ACL being a very common one. One that we see that is non-operative is an MCL injury, which is always good news to give a patient because it's just a little downtime, and then we expect a full return to prior level of function without needing surgery. Fractures, etc., of the lower knee joint, called a tibial plateau fracture, very common in our skiing population, and will fix a lot every winter. How long is it okay for my shoulder to hurt after falling off my snowboard? Pain that is persisting for several days after a big fall is probably something you should have evaluated. We are always ready to see patients on a same-day basis. Anything that it presents with extreme weakness, an obvious deformity, or other truly concerning symptoms, you should be seen immediately. Any tips for my first ski season after an ACL tear? So this is one of my areas of particular specialty, is ACL reconstruction. It is going to take on average about 9 months for a full return to sport. But we are actually assessing the patient with the assistance of our wonderful physical therapist here in the Valley with what's called a return to sports testing. That's the general progression of all return to sports, is starting a little slower and then building up higher, just like professional athletes do. Does a broken collarbone mean my ski season is over? Depending on the pattern of the fracture, may be treated surgically or non-operatively. A broken bone versus a fracture, we may offer surgery for that particular clavicle fracture. Normally a patient is going to be, in my practice, allowed immediate active and passive range of motion coming out of the sling as soon as they can tolerate. Takes about 6 weeks for the initial healing of that clavicle to occur. Depending on the fracture itself, I may clear somebody for some lower risk skiing after about the 6 to 8 week mark, or it may be the 3 month mark. Are there winter sports that you should not do with a labral tear? If we have progressed you through physical therapy and you're doing well with your labral tear, then the goal is to return you back to all sports, whether it is with or without surgery. And that's the goal of all of our non-operative treatment, is get you back to full level of function, pain-free, and doing well. Thank you so much again for watching the Ask a MD segment here with Vail Valley Live. I'm Dr. Max Sider with Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery. Stay safe out there. Number one piece of advice, wear a helmet. Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery stands for providing the highest quality of care to our unique patient population here in the mountains.
I think that what makes us unique is that we really are practicing groundbreaking techniques, yet, we practice it in a small town environment. Our patients are our neighbors and our kids go to school with their kids.
I think every one of our docs treat their patients like their family. Our goal is to keep you active, doing the things you want to do, and we'll map out a road to success to get you there.
Love is in the air at the outlets at Castle Rock and Silverthorne. And we are going to wow you with some of the fabulous looks that we have to share with you today from J. Crew and Adidas. Let's take a look. Here's Rachel in J. Crew. I love her navy preppy blazer with striped lining, striped pink tee, amazing white jeans, white sneakers, and gorgeous pink ribbon earrings. With her savings card booklet, it'll be $197, saving $316. Here's Enza in J. Crew Kids with her denim jean jacket, her heart filigree tee, sweetheart leggings, heart necklace, and her white slip-on tennis shoes. Whole outfit $101 with her savings card booklet. Wow, Liv, you look amazing in J. Crew sportswear line. From her fabulous striped button top, pink leggings, fleece jacket, pearlized headband, fingerless gloves, and her amazing tennis shoes with the pink and copper colors, all from the internet return. Her outfit, $145 outlet, fabulous. Kate is in Adidas in her pink hoodie, pastel leggings, black tote, and her white and pink running shoes. Her whole outfit would come to $138. Okay, Rachel, you look fabulous in your amazing full-length bubble coat from Guess. You've got your fabulous hoodie with the faux fur, and look at those adorable pearl gold shades. Whole outfit with the shades, $138. Here's Kate in Adidas with this black cropped jacket, $42. It's 40% off of their jackets. Here's Liv. She's in Guess in the most amazing puffer jacket with fleece detailing inside the hood. Love the black belt and the sunglasses. Jacket reduced to $65. And her shades are only $45 from $90. Love is in the air at the outlets at Castle Rock and Silverthorne. And just a reminder, be sure and pick up your savings card booklet at the outlets at Castle Rock in the food court, at customer service, and the outlets at Silverthorne at the Colorado Welcome Center. Love is in the air, and so are the discounts that you're going to find in the savings book. See you soon.
Oh, here we are. We are in the museum at Dinosaur Junction. Billy Dorn is joining us now. Has been his pet project for quite some time, and it's so cool to see this come to fruition.
Yeah.
I know you've had your Fossil Posse Kids Camp going on for a
Right.
couple years, but now we actually have a place that we can visit year-round.
Yeah, absolutely, Tricia. And as you mentioned, this is really a dream come true. This museum is 12, 13 years almost in the making of a lot of bruised and battered body parts, hiking up in the hills, finding the bones of these incredible creatures. And a lot of people say, well, Billy, why did you build a museum in the high country? Well, being up in the high country, we're like an hour and a half from Denver or from Fruita. So I thought also we find so much stuff up here. I felt like it was kind of my job to take care of all these amazing treasures that nature has offered up and build something where we can all come and enjoy and learn from.
Well, and believe it or not, these kind of creatures roamed these parts. Many, Bill.
Some hundreds of millions, yes.
Yeah, I'll let you do the timing on this.
Yeah.
It's just mind-blowing about this. But it's so cool to see this and to be able to walk around and
Yeah.
really immerse yourself in this experience and think about what it would have been like to be
It
living
would have
during
been a
those
place
times.
you'd be on the run the whole time, pretty much. To give you an idea of timing, though, the oldest fossil I've found so far, right here in Eagle County, in fact, within a stone's throw of Edwards, is a single footprint about the size of my fingers, that big. So it's to a dinosaur about the size of a turkey, and that footprint is 230 million years old. And to put some perspective on that, the Rocky Mountains are 70 million years old.
Okay.
And then this guy behind us, this is Allosaurus. He would have been about 150 million years ago. And this is the dinosaur that started it all, Tricia. I first found bones from Allosaurus, bones and footprints, back in around 2010. And that kind of got the ball rolling for me in the world of paleontology, and then it's grown basically to all of this.
Okay, and then this one, you're almost outgrowing the space here,
Yeah,
Billy.
yeah.
Look at this guy, he barely fits in this space.
And this is a small one of this type. This is called Camarasaurus. He's a member of a group of dinosaurs called the sauropods, or the long necks. Okay. That includes Diplodocus, Brachiosaurus, Brontosaurus, Camarasaurus, and they were truly massive. They were the biggest of the biggest. These are the earth shakers. As they walk by, the ground would have shook under our feet, for sure, yeah.
I just have visions of Jurassic Park movie
Yeah,
in my head.
it's not too far off. Every time someone takes a step, the water shakes, the cars move. It would have been mini earthquakes. Some of these animals weighed upwards of 140, 150,000 pounds, which is incredible to think about that walking across the land. But they were here.
And
Their bones
eating,
prove it.
you know, they were
Eating up
just
to
eating.
1,000 pounds of food every day or two. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have, yes.
This one, your latest edition.
I want to step over here. Can I get
Okay,
this side of
okay,
you?
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is the animal, this is probably the most famous dinosaur. This, of course, Tyrannosaurus Rex, the best Hollywood agent of any dinosaur. And this little display here actually shows two of the most famous dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and just below it, Velociraptor, of course, made famous from the Jurassic Park movies. But one of the things we like to show in this museum, Tricia, is kind of the reality of what dinosaurs were like, and especially for kids, because sometimes nowadays with computers and movies, they can get a little skewed.
Yeah.
I get kids that think certain dinosaurs were real, that did exist, that never really existed in some of the movies. But Velociraptor, that's a full-size Velociraptor.
Okay.
He's only about as tall as a wild turkey. He's about 5 feet long, and that's full-grown. They weren't the size of the ones in Jurassic Park. Okay. However, we did have one here in Colorado that was the size of the ones in Jurassic Park,
wow.
called Deinonychus, which is scary, very scary animal.
Oh, well, and just look at the head on
Yeah.
that and the teeth.
Well, that guy had some of the biggest teeth ever found were from Tyrannosaurus Rex. In fact, the biggest one, I think, was somewhere to 12 to 14 inches long. And to give you an idea, that mouth could eat a cow in one bite. A
No,
cow.
You've got this here, too. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah, there's a perfect look, a shot of some seriously gigantic banana-sized teeth.
Oh, wow.
And
Banana size, yeah.
Banana size. And here's something really cool. Dinosaurs grew their teeth the entire life, all the way to where they died in adulthood. Their teeth would constantly regenerate, similar to a shark, but not as dramatic as a shark. In fact, when we're digging up plant eaters like hadrosaurs, the big duck-billed dinosaurs, or Triceratops, a famous one with the horns, we often find these teeth simply lying there because they'll bite into something and rip into it, and teeth will just break out of their mouth because they're going to grow back, so they don't care.
They don't care.
They just want the food.
They don't need to visit the dentist.
No, they just
All
want
right.
the food.
But you need to visit the museum at Dinosaur Junction. You're located right in Edwards.
Right here, 1121 Edwards, right in the heart of Edwards, and we are going to continue to grow. As you mentioned, we almost have outgrown this little space, which I thought, how am I going to fill this, 6 months ago? And here we are, filled basically now. And we're going to grow and expand and bring in even bigger skeletons, truly giant, massive stuff. And our goal for this museum is to not only be a hub of science and education, especially for kids and classes, but really be like a paleontological area where people can come and study the fossils we have in Eagle County. We have so much here that that's kind of like, this has brought light to that it needs to be focused on. And so that's the goal, is to be a full-on education science center.
Okay, and best ways to follow you, websites or
Website,
social media?
dinosaurjunction.org, dinosaurjunction.org. We are an official 501c3 nonprofit, so any donations will help us grow for sure. And you'll be reading more about us, because when this snow melts, I'm going to be out there hunting. There's more and more dinosaurs to be found, more crocodiles, sharks, turtles, anything prehistoric, there's more to be found, and I'm going to get out there and find it, including Tyrannosaurus rex.
Okay, Billy, thanks so much for the
Of course,
tour.
thank you.
Luxury resort in Vail.
Welcome back to Vail Valley Live. I want to give you a look at the weather. It is lightly snowing out here at the base of Bridge Street in Vail Village. We've got a ton of people making their way to the lifts that open up at 8:30 here on Vail Mountain and over at Beaver Creek. And hey, we just got a chat in from Jim H. And he said, you know, I know the hosts a lot of times mention that you can't find the paper trail maps, but he said you can find them. So he's got some in his pocket. So if you see him up at Beaver Creek, he's got them. Or you can ask them, ask one of the mountain hosts, go into the ticket office. So they're just not as readily available as they were kind of pre-pandemic, but they do exist. So if you want a trail map, kind of sometimes it's fun to just put the trail map out on the table and to let people, you know, kind of look at where they went or where they're going to go the next day. And I know kids like to have the maps, so they do exist. Thank you, Jim H., for writing in to us today. They do exist, so make sure you ask for them. But let's give you a few details on the weather. Yeah, it's just kind of snow globe snow is what I refer to this kind of snow right now, just lightly snowing. We're not going to get a ton of accumulation out of this, maybe 1 to 2 inches. And our daytime high will be reaching into the low 30s. We'll have the cloud cover kind of sticking with us. It's a little chilly out there right on the mountain. Beaver Creek looking at 8 degrees, Vail looking at 7 degrees. And then here in the village, we're in the teens right now. So things will slowly start to warm up, but not as warm as yesterday. Boy, that sunshine sure made a big difference. I hopped in my car midday and it was like 37 on my car thermometer. So it was nice to see the sun once again. When's the next time we're going to see the sun? Well, let's take a look at the next couple of days. We'll see it. We'll have a little chance of that tomorrow. It's kind of nice. We've got these kind of cloudy weeks, and then we have the sunnier weekend. So partly sunny tomorrow, a daytime high right around 37 degrees. Overnight low dipping down into the single digits once again. And then for your Sunday, we'll see temperatures reaching back into the 30s. And overnight lows not as bad, right around the 20s. So probably some cloud cover will be coming in to provide that blanket of insulation, and kind of keeps the atmosphere a little bit warmer when we do see cloud cover overnight. And then as we're going to start the work week, a daytime high into the low 40s, overnight lows in the teens, partly sunny conditions for you. And then on Tuesday, looks like we'll have a bright and sunny day for you. 38 degrees for a high and 16 degrees overnight. No new snow to report in the last 24 hours at Vail or Beaver Creek. But did you read this story in the Vail Daily earlier this week? We've already surpassed last year's entire season totals on Vail Mountain. So we're looking good. We got a 70-inch base at Vail and a 58-inch base over at Beaver Creek. Now this week, we're not going to see too much snow out of any of these little storms. So nothing like January, where we were getting like half a foot just on a regular basis. So we'll take what we can get. We love inching up towards a higher number with our season to date totals. So that's what we're looking like for the next couple of days. I want to thank Grand Hyatt for this weather and mountain report. And I stopped by this sign because I wanted to kind of show you what's going to be happening this month. So Vail Opera, the spring series, it's on. So it starts this week. It goes all the way through April 2nd. So I saw this little message board and it talks about the silent disco. And you can do that on Mondays and Thursdays, 4 to 7 p.m. We've got Vail Village International Bridge will be where it's on Monday. And then over in Lions at the bus stop, that will be on Thursdays. And then on Tuesdays, they're offering art workshops. And these are going to take place at the Colorado Snow Sports Museum, just by the Welcome Center and the Vail Village parking structure. So it'll be 3:30 to 5 on Tuesdays. So that could be something to do after the slopes close. And then live music. And this is going to be right outside. So from 3 to 6 on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, you'll either find the live music by the International Bridge or you're going to find it at the Lionside bus stop. And we have so many talented musicians. It's just great to hear them. Maybe you just stop a little bit, listen to a few songs, take a seat on one of the benches. This became very popular during COVID because of all the social distancing and all the outdoor activities. So we had a lot of live music that was happening during that time. And that's one of those ideas that stuck around. So thank you, COVID. Like, or it's just kind of on the streets, music in the streets. You just listen for it and you'll find the musicians. But speaking of musicians, we've got the Valar Performing Arts Center. Once again, they're celebrating their 25th anniversary. And tonight is their big celebration. Nora Jones, her new album came out in 2021, playing for pretty much about as long as the Valar Center has been around. And she will be playing tonight. It is sold out, but I see these little posts on Facebook and Instagram like, oh, I can't go, I'm selling my tickets. So you might find this evening things going on, and one of those is the Yamato drummers, the drummers of Japan. And they are on kind of a worldwide tour right now. They're spending half the year traveling to Japan and then the other half of the year touring the world. And we are lucky to be on their stop. They were supposed to come during COVID and of course had to cancel. So we're glad to welcome them back. And they bring so many different drums. I think they're going to have about 40 different drums on the stage. One of them is carved out from a 400-year-old tree. It's 500 kilograms. It's huge. I don't know how they're going to get that in, but they travel with all these drums. They're bringing it to the Valar, so that could be a great show to see for the whole family. They love spreading joy through their music, and this is going to be quite the scene. And they even said that you can't even describe it as just a performance. It's more of an experience. So put this on your calendar. They are coming to the Valar. We're happy to have them back, and especially since we didn't get to have them during COVID, they're coming back. They're coming back with a bang. And then also the Preservation Hall Jazz Band. That is another show that's coming to the Valar. And I've been doing some research on the 25th anniversary of the Valar Performing Arts Center. And they actually have a list of every single show that's come to the Valar. And Preservation Hall Jazz Band was in that first season. So they're celebrating their 60th anniversary. And Preservation Hall is kind of this shrine, this holy place. It's like a religious experience to be a part of that. And they're going to be touring for their 60th anniversary, and we get to be part of their stops. So if you love jazz, I know that Heather was talking about this yesterday. She grew up in New Orleans, so she's itching to go to this show. Get your tickets for this. Only 535 seats in that theater. So it is something that does sell out rather quickly. So you may want to take part of that. Legally Blonde is another show that is coming Performing Arts Center this month, and the thing about this, it is almost sold out. Limited availability right now, so make sure you take a look at that and find your tickets, get your tickets. You're not going to regret it, let me tell you. I think it's just such a fun place to see a show. So, but right now, let's give you a look at kind of the history of the Valar Performing Arts Center. It was pretty revolutionary to have this underneath an ice rink at Beaver Creek. So here's some more information about it. This season marks the 25th anniversary of the Valar Performing Arts Center in Beaver Creek. In the past quarter of a century, this venue has provided entertainment for all ages and is considered to be a beloved gem in the Rockies. This 535-seat theater is nestled in an unusual location, underneath the outdoor skating rink on the plaza level of Beaver Creek. Littmann's Künstler Theater in Munich, Germany provided the inspiration for the wood-paneled columns, walls, and ceilings that are combined in the curved horseshoe seating layout also found in many traditional European halls, providing unobstructed views from all seats. Fundraising efforts started in 1995, and its groundbreaking was in April of 1996. On opening night, February 5th, 1998, there was a dedication of the Ford Family Relief, a wall outside the venue that depicted the Fords participating in a variety of valley-wide events. President Gerald R. Ford and wife Betty were supporters of the Vail Performing Arts Center from the beginning. The opening week's acts included Ani and Ida Kavafian with the Santa Fe Pro Musica Orchestra, Spalding Gray, All-American Dance Stars, Capitol Steps, and Marvin Hamlish. The Vail Center stage has since hosted some of the biggest acts in the entertainment world, such as Train, Sheryl Crow, country music stars Trace Adkins and Jennifer Nettles, Huey Lewis, Rick Springfield, Lucas Nelson, Keb Mo, orchestras from all over the world, dance companies, and Broadway productions like Rent, Kinky Boots, and The Producers, and many, many more over the years. Where else can you ski, hike, bike, or golf and literally be a short walk away from world-class entertainment? The Vail Performing Arts Center is that gem in the Rockies that completes not only the Beaver Creek experience, but the Vail Valley experience.
We believe in the power of a live performance. We believe in making memories together. Join us as we celebrate 25 years of making moments that last a lifetime, bringing concerts, comedy, Broadway, classical, dance, and family entertainment in the heart of the Rocky Mountains in Beaver Creek Village. View the full lineup and get tickets today at villarpack.org.
Moet Vending for life's spontaneous, festive moments. Celebrate at the Grand Hyatt Vail.
Welcome to Nap Harvest. We are showcasing healthy habits, and you can start right here feeding your family healthy organic vegetables and fruits that are seasonal and local. They're all the way from Arizona with our wonderful, beautiful citrus fruits that we sneak across the border for. But don't forget our nap mushrooms, grown at 9,000 feet. Mushrooms are chock full of benefits for you. And then also the microgreens, also chock full of vitamins. Come see us at Nap Harvest in Eagle Ranch on Sylvan Lake Road next to Color Coffee. We're open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturdays and Sundays, 10 to 4.
Welcome back to Vail Valley Live, everybody. It is starting to snow a little bit harder. It was so light at the beginning of the show. I just felt like I was in a little snow globe, but it's coming down. We're not really expecting to get more than like 1 to 2 inches out of this, but hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. Definitely wear the goggles with a lighter lens if you have the choice today, and no sunglasses. You're not going to need the sunglasses today. Put on the goggles for sure. But hey, if you're looking for someplace to eat, we've already got Los Amigos getting their little breakfast burritos going. We've got the Express Lift Cafe that's right adjacent to Gondola One. If you're getting your rentals and everything, you can pop in there. So there's a few different places you can go for breakfast. We have, of course, Loda Joe's Coffee at the base of Bridge Street, and then Joe's Famous Deli, which is right on Bridge Street, kind of across from Vendetta's. Vendetta's not open yet, but some of the best pizza you're going to find. I love the Snow Pig. It's one of my favorites to have after a day on the slopes. But if you're getting a little hungry, don't forget about the Grand Hyatt Vail. So Grand Hyatt Vail is where our studio is for Vail Valley Live. So we're in there all the time. We love the Yoshimi pop-up, which is excellent. Gessner Restaurant is a great place to go. It's right along Gore Creek. Super fun, super awesome. But a very own Meredith had a chance to get behind the scenes and make a little something with their executive sous chef, Kyle Cox.
Hey there, we're here at Gessner Restaurant at the Grand Hyatt Vail. Joining me today, I have Chef Kyle, and we're making something fun that can be found on the appetizer menu and pretty approachable.
Yes. Today we'll be making a brie and croûte. We'll be using Haystack Mountains cashmere. It's a double whipped brie. Ooh. We'll be using a fig jam and some candied pecans.
Wow. So do you make the fig jam in-house?
Yes.
Incredible.
Yep.
What's that process like?
So in the fall we bring in a bunch of fresh figs and basically just do a big batch in one of our kettles, and then we jar it up and save it for the season.
Amazing. I love it. All right. So first step. How do we do this?
So you're going to want to purchase some puff pastry, which is a laminate dough, which is just a dough that has a lot of butter in it that will just make it nice and flaky. So you want a little bit of flour on your board or your cooking surface, just to make sure it doesn't stick, not too much, and then rub a little more on top. With a simple rolling pin, or if you don't have one at home, a wine bottle will make do. We're just going to slightly roll to kind of stretch it out and make it a little thin so it doesn't turn out too doughy.
Okay, so almost like the size of a piece of paper.
Yep. Exactly.
Perfect.
Now, brie can come in all different sizes, and if you have a wedge, so a triangle shape, that's perfectly fine as well. But you can kind of just measure it out with what you're using, and you'll want to trim a little bit of the dough just to make sure when you fold it over, it doesn't become too doughy. Very easy to cut. It's almost like a Play-Doh texture. So we'll just come around and kind of make it a circle. Make sure there's not too much excess dough. Now once we have the shape of the dough we want, you can take our jam. You can really kind of lay it on pretty thick. And just try to cover all the edges. And for the candied pecans, I'll go ahead and put those on the dough just so when I flip it over, because you want your presentation side to be flat.
Gotcha. This is why we have the chef around to teach us these tricks.
And then we can just lay that down right in there. Next for the egg wash. So I'll do one little light coating around the edges.
And this is just 1 egg scrambled?
So yeah, this is egg, and I like to mix a little bit of water in there, just maybe like a teaspoon of water just to make it a little more easy to spread around. And then we'll just start to fold it over. Kind of smooth out the edges a little bit.
Oh my gosh, amazing. I've definitely seen these in the stores, but it's so cool to see it in person.
And then we want to do a little more egg wash on the outside too. And this is going to help it get a little more flaky, help it get crispy, and also give it that nice, like, professional looking sheen that will impress your guests at home. And then you'll just want to transfer over to your cooking sheet. And this is something you can actually do ahead of time, not too far ahead of time, but you know, an hour or two before your guests arrive, you can go ahead and get it to this state. That way, when they arrive, all you're doing is baking.
Okay, and how long do we bake it for?
So we're gonna go 325 for about 25 minutes.
Okay, well, we'll be right back.
And this is
Voila.
what it should look like when it comes out of the oven, nice and golden brown.
Okay, so how would you design this plate?
So generally what I'll do is I like to leave the nice row of the crackers. And then a little trick with the berries is always go with your strawberries and blackberries first, because the blueberries tend to want to roll everywhere.
I feel like the fruit will really offset that salty cheese.
Yes,
taste.
exactly. Same with the compote, the candy pecans. There we go. All right.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at that. This is perfect inspiration because you can do this at home.
Yes,
which
very
is really,
easy.
Yeah.
Everything you can find here, you can find in the store. And like I said, you can do whatever berries you want, any type of jam you want. If you want something more savory, it works with savory jams as well. Yep.
You have a great team here, and you guys are open 7 days a week?
Yes, we are. 7 days a week from 5 to 9:30.
It's incredible. And the views, you're right on Gore Creek, so perfect for a date night or even a bigger party size, family size.
Yes, of course. Very
Awesome.
family friendly, have kids food and everything.
Well, hopefully this inspired you to make some at home or just come on into the restaurant and have Chef Kyle make it himself. Well, let's dig in.
Let's try it.
I know you don't always get to try the food you make. So, a particular way to cut?
Just right in there. No
Dig
good way.
right in.
Welcome back to Vail Valley Live. A lot of people are gathering right here at the base of Gondola 1, getting ready to go up on the hill for their Friday. And 8:30 is when we're going to open up those lifts. Already a little bit of a line starting to form. But I wanted to remind you that we've got the groomed trails here at the base. So you could want to kind of take a look at this before you go up. This is also on your Epic Mix app if you go to that. And then lift times are reported on signs at different parts of the mountain. So that's just another good thing to know. Like if you see that Game Creek goal was 11 minutes, like maybe you're not going to go down there. Or Northwoods is another one that can get, a little bit longer of a line. So sometimes I'll plan my day just looking at the lift times. So if you don't want to wait in a line, especially on a Saturday, busy Saturday, make sure you look at those message boards. They're electronic and they are updated in real time. But let's give you some details on the weather right now. I was mentioning that it was starting to snow a little bit harder. Now it's lightened up just a little bit. But we're going to see some snow throughout the day. Not a lot, maybe 1 to 2 inches is what's being predicted by the National Weather Service. 8 degrees up at Beaver Creek Mountain right now, 7 on Vail Mountain. So dress for those conditions and dress for flat light conditions as well, which means goggles. And if you have a choice of lenses, go with a lighter lens today. Right here in the valley bit floor, we're in the teens right now, and we're going to get into the low 30s by the time we're all through the day. And then overnight, we'll be going back into the cooler temperatures. And then for tomorrow, we'll see partly sunny conditions for your Saturday, a high right around the mid to upper 30s. And then overnight lows will go back down to the single digits. And then for Sunday, we'll be back into the 30s, and we'll see highs right around freezing, 32 degrees. And then for the overnight low, 24 degrees, so not too bad at all. And then for Monday, we'll hop into the low 40s, some sunshine out there. And then looks like our sunniest day coming up will be on Tuesday. So Tuesday, we'll see a high right around 38, overnight low of 16 degrees. And as far as any big accumulations out of anything, we're not going to see too much. We're going to maybe, we got no new snow in the last 24 hours, maybe just 1 or 2 inches here or there. So that's what we're looking at right now. So far, March, come on, March, we got to catch up with January. January was our big snow month, where we would receive like a foot of snow, a half a foot of snow on a regular basis. So we're looking for those to be coming back. Hey, but Vail is a very large mountain, over 5,200 acres. And if you want to go with a guide. We've got some guided tours that you can do. One of them is the Frontside Mountain Tour, and this happens every day except Saturdays. And what you do is you meet over at the top of the Eagle Bond Gondola, and they will take you on that Frontside Mountain Tour. And this is even nice if maybe you're skiing alone and you want someone to ski with. This is a great thing to do. So Sundays through Fridays, you meet at 10:15 at top of the Eagle Bond Gondola, and then you leave. The tour leaves at promptly at 10:30, and it's recommended for intermediate skiers and riders and above. And then they have the Blue Sky Basin tours that happen every day except Saturday. Now, what you do is you meet at the Legacy Hut, and this is right between Cheers 4 Mountaintop Express and Chair 11, which is Northwoods Express. And the Legacy Hut is kind of a cool place to go anyway because it has a lot of old photos of Vail and the Vail history. So you could stop in there, maybe go a little bit early. And those will be leaving at 10:30. So meet at 10:15 at the Legacy Hut, and those will leave at 10:30. And then we have special Legacy Tours. And this talks about the trails and how they got their names and the founders, Pete Seibert and Earl Eaton. Just a real fascinating tour. And this is going to be happening on Thursdays. You'll meet at that Legacy Hut once again at 12:45 for a 1 p.m. departure. And then the Women's Winter Adventure Tour, these are going on Wednesdays now. And you meet at 9:45 once again at the Legacy Hut. And then you'll leave at 10 o'clock. And ladies, it's fun to ski with other gals. And your guide is going to give you some tricks of the trade, let you know where to go, what runs are great for your ability level, how to get from different places, maybe how to get off the mountain at the end of the day. You know, the end of the day gets a little crazy. So sometimes it's nice to have some of the lesser used trails to know about. So all those tours that I mentioned are complimentary. So take advantage of this. And even if you've been here all 60 years, I bet you're going to learn something new from these mountain hosts that are going to guide you around the mountain. So that's a look at what are the free activities you can do. Oh, it looks like we're starting to go a little bit out of the maze right now. Let me take you, let's go to a break, Leah, and then I'll take everyone over to Gondola 1, and we'll let you know what it looks like here at the base of Gondola 1. All right, everyone, it's about time we're going to wrap up the show. Just wanted to show you what it's looking like down here at the base of Gondola 1 for your Friday. We typically see the lines get a little bit big on Fridays. It's kind of the new Saturday. Oh, yeah, they're going all the way. They're going up towards the... But you know what? Once we open things up at 8:30, this line is going to move pretty fast. And then, you know what? I mentioned earlier those little lift line message boards. Use that as a guide to kind of guide you where the lines aren't as long. We've got so much terrain. Don't do herd mentality. Don't follow the crowds. Kind of get yourself dispersed out there today. But have some fun. Enjoy it. Happy anniversary to the Villard Performing Arts Center, which is having their big celebration tonight. Take a look at villardpac.org and check out some of the shows they've got going on throughout the rest of the season. you're sure to find something that's going to please you. But thank you for watching today. Thanks for chatting in. Thanks, Jim H., for giving us the details on mountain maps. You can get them. You just got to ask for them. And if you want to watch our show any time of the day, we're on Facebook and YouTube. But we're live when we get on Comcast Channel 17 Outside Television. We'll see you tomorrow.